we can use fasting, not just once or twice, but always, so that we can improve our health and build on our immunity. Today, in times of the lockdown and the pandemic, I feel that if we are going to use good food choices, right food combinations, right fasting methods, we can build on immunity and keep our health in best shape. Because fasting is partial or total abstention from all foods or select abstention from prohibited foods. In all the sciences, whether it is modern medicine, Ayurveda, Unani, or in nutrition sciences, fasting can be a potential non-pharmacological intervention to improve health and increase longevity. There are three common methods which are seen all over the world. One is calorie restriction, whereby you will reduce the calories by 20 to 40%. You have alternate day fasting, which is known as ADF, and you have got dietary restriction, where you will restrict some amounts of your fats, carbohydrates, or proteins. Now, all over the country in India, we have a lot of religious fasts which are followed throughout the year. Sometimes they coincide with a particular, say, feast, or they will coincide with the change in seasons. So, fasting is done to improve on spiritual growth. It's a time where you will look inward and help yourself spiritually and grow emotionally. But I would say, while we are having so many beautiful modifications or restrictions provided by the Vedas, it's time you look at those restrictions and modifications in diet in the scientific manner and use those ideas to improve our own health. Because I'm sure by the time we finish with the discussion on, say, the right diets and the fasting methods between Dr. Manisha and me, we will be able to initiate most of you in the audience to using fasting as a weekly feature in every lifestyle and to look at better health benefits. So very importantly, I have read a lot of researches and it has been seen that fasting can improve your body's power to fight inflammation. Chronic inflammation gives us cardiac diseases, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, those plaque formations. So it can reduce those negative developments. Fasting can also improve your brain function, improve alertness and cognition, and prevent degenerative disorders. It can also improve your insulin sensitivity and help thereby control your blood sugar. Those who are looking at weight loss, if you use the right kind of food combination, it will help you in weight loss. It will promote the formation of growth hormone secretion, whereby you will improve muscle strength and not just have sarcopenia, which is muscle loss. It can also help you in delaying aging, because as you eat healthier and as you fast, as you let your systems, your different, your gastrointestinal tract, your liver, your heart, your kidneys all get that kind of rest when you fast. So they will be better. You will have better human growth hormone, whereby you will have lesser aging, or you will stop or you will halt premature aging. Whenever you fast, you give the body a break from routine eating. So the body needs that rest so that can reset its relationship with food. Fasting can boost the formation of the brain derived neurotropic factor, BDNF, which helps in brain function and which is also known to reduce the risk of Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. When we look at the different kinds of fasts followed all over the world, the 30-day fast you see in Islamic followers, where in Ramzan you have two fasting, you have a fasting for a 14-hour or a 18-hour time, depending on the sunset and sunrise, and you're allowed to eat your food in two windows, twice a day. In Lent or the Daniel fast, again it is a 21-day to 40-day fast, wherein you see prohibitions in the consumption of animal foods, refined carbohydrates, additives, preservatives, sweeteners, flavorings, caffeine, and alcohol. Whereby the Hindu calendar, we have several fasts all over the year, where you see Navratra, which is for 9 days, you've got Shravan fast, you've got Nag Panchami, Janmashtami, the incoming Ganesha fast for a good 8 to 9 days. Then you have got the Jainism fast, Padushan, which can go on from 7 days to 30 days. So religious fasting is a time where you look at spiritual growth. Let's look at how we can use our own traditional religious fasting times to improve on our own health, whereby we can build on better quality of life. Uh, a lot of research is now coming on how your fasting can improve on building on immunity. They say that when you are fasting, you have autophagy. That is when you have your own dead cells or your toxins are being eaten away and new cells are developed. There's a lot of research which is promising with its impact on good health, on fasting methods and the diets eaten. The CR, or the calorie reduction, is where you see typically a 20 to 40% reduction in your overall calorie intake. So if you're like using up 2000 calories, and then you can cut down by 400 calories or by 500 calories, and then you can look at how you can eat, say, twice a day or several times a day, or whatever fast that you're following, whether it is the as per your religious practices. But for a good health impact, one needs to look at what foods can be chosen so that it will have an impact on your cardiovascular health. It will reduce the blood pressure. It will increase the heart rate variability. It will also help in increasing your insulin sensitivity, whereby it will reduce your diabetes status and reduce the body fat percentage as well. Dietary restrictions is the other form where you see that you will reduce on the macronutrients. The macronutrients are your carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Now, higher energy comes from your fats, which is 9 grams per calories. Then you have carbohydrates, proteins, where you have 4 calories coming in per gram. So when you're looking at diet restrictions, you must look at incorporating healthy carbs, unprocessed carbs, not simple sugars. Look at good proteins, first class proteins, and combine them well with your good fats, good carbs, and good proteins. Well, there is a lot of research that talks about when you restrict your carbohydrates, especially your processed carbohydrates, it helps in longevity. And there is some report which talks about even reducing on protein intake. So this latest trend whereby a lot of our youth are using high protein, high fat diet, the keto, need to beware, because these can have an impact on your health. The alternative fasting, where you have 24-hour periods of fasting and feasting. Once again, this does not give you license to feast when you're not fasting the other day, because if you're not going to use healthy foods when you're not fasting, then that can impact on the morbidity, which could be, your higher cholesterol levels, or, impaired kidney function. Because if you do this ADF fast well, it has been seen in cancer studies and studies done in diabetes patients that you can reduce the harmful impact of these inflammatory reactions. Once again, ADF has gender specific impact. It means that men are more at benefit when they're doing the ADF fasting compared to women. The intermittent fasting, or the isocalorie twice a day fasting, where you use the same amount of food in 2 short windows. That means you will eat in the morning and in the evening. This will improve on the circadian rhythm, on autophagy. It will reduce on your glucose and lipid reaction in the body, whereby it will make your circulating insulin much more sensitive and much more impactful, whereby you will reduce on your metabolic derangements. Some popular regimens of intermittent fasting are the 16-8. It actually means that you will fast for 16 hours. That means you have a 16-hour time in 24 hours where you will not eat. You can drink water. But in that 8 hours, which is your eating window, that could be between, say, morning 8 and evening 6, or 10 and 8. You look at how, it fits into your lifestyle. Because I repeat again, when you're doing these intermittent fasting or this kind of 2-time feeding fasting methods, it has to be long term, it has to be lifestyle for it to show its positive impact on your health, or whatever is the purpose for doing these fasts. When you're doing the alternative fasting, when you limit yourself to fasting to just 500 calories and then you eat normal food the other day, and the 5-2 plan actually means that you will fast for 2 days in a week, but you will eat normal food in the rest 5 days. It actually, again, here there is caution, but does not mean that it lets you eat whatever. Like, do not go in for too much of fried, sugary foods or processed foods. When you're doing these intermittent, say 2/5 or 16/8 kind of regimens, you must eat at healthier food choices for it to have beneficial effect on your metabolic systems. The 30 intermittent fasting is very much similar to the Lent or the Ramzan fast, where it has been seen that when you are fasting from dawn to sunset for 30 days, that's a good enough time, 4 weeks, where you can see an impact on cancer status, metabolic syndrome, improves cognition, and neuropsychiatric diseases. So once again, in Ramzan, where a lot of researches have been done, because it's practiced for longer periods and you can get to study people and their behaviors and the food choices, The positive effects are only when you're eating good food, and it will improve on your brain derived neurotropic factors. It will reduce the hormone cortisol, which reduces stress. It will help in weight loss. It will reduce cholesterol. It helps you in appetite reduction, and it makes your nutrient absorption much more efficient because of the development of the hormone adenopectin. Because you're getting that 14-hour break between eating and letting your systems rest. That is the entire emphasis. So let's look at what all of us, all Indians do when we are fasting. We end up feasting. The sabudana, vada, the puris, the kachoris, the samosas. We are using the right food. We are using our, say, Rajkira atta, we are using the Samaika atta, we are using, say, Ragi atta, millet atta, or unprocessed cereals. But we use the wrong methods. We are frying them. We are putting them into sugar syrups. We are cooking them for long periods. We're adding a lot of sweets, and that thereby we reduce the good impact of fasting, which has which what it does to your body. So instead of looking at just these koftas and halwas and banana and aloo chips, let's look at when we are fasting. Let's look at fasting working for us the right way. Let's look at the use of fresh fruits and vegetables. Use them raw, use them steamed, use your nuts soaked, crush them in the milk, make smoothies. You make your potato vegetable salad. You can have your rajkira kuttu singada made into khichdi or muchiyas or cutlets. You can have paneer salad. You can have paneer vegetable sauteed. If you have to use sabudana, because sabudana I believe is rich in carbohydrates and converts to energy fast. For the people who are elderly or weak, sabudana can be used to make kheers. But rather to use a kheer which has got nuts and which you will use more of your dried fruits, like you can use your kharaka, powder for the sweetening. You will use raisins, you will use khajur. Once again, when you have three khajurs, it actually means a good 15 grams of good healthy carbs. So which will help you in improving on your sugar status. Yeah, so these look familiar. The sabudana khichuris, the ghee laden khichuris. I always say, whether you are fasting or whether you are trying to, incorporate a fast into your daily routine, look at the my plate, because a my plate approach always is a winner. One must focus on fruits. One must focus on raw steamed vegetables. Look at your whole grains, unprocessed. Stop eating those biscuits and puris. Look at your first class complete proteins. If you are a vegetarian, you can look at your sprouts in combination with your cereals. Like you can have your dal chawal, you can have your moong matki chavli, or nuts with curds and rice, whether it is samaika rice, whether it is rajkira ki roti, whether it is singade and sabudana, singada and kuttu ki roti, or whether you're combining singada with, say, boiled sweet potato and making into a roti. But look at those combinations with thick curds. If not milk kheer, or milk smoothie or milk fruit shakes, look at your kheers, look at your curds, look at your Greek yogurt, look at your probiotic curds, look at your chas. Because a lot of our religious practices do allow the use of zira, black pepper, cinnamon. So if you're allowed, make use of these spices, because they will help you in digestion, assimilation, and also build an immunity. Try to limit or completely give up on salt, ghees, oils, and sugars if you can do that when you're looking at good impact of fast on your body. Healthy foods, when eaten on a fast, can help all of us fight disease and build on immunity. Use locally produced, seasonally available foods which are easily accessible. Limit the consumption of highly processed foods. Avoid juices. Look at chewing your fruits, because see, if I'll give an example, like one glass of orange juice will take 4 to 6 oranges. You will strain and throw away the fiber. Just have that sugar laden juice. Rather, you eat all those 6 oranges or all those 6 mosambi's. You will get the benefit of the fruit sugar and the fiber and the antioxidants and all those carotenoids, polyphenols, all those antioxidants, all those soluble fibers, insoluble fibers, which the fruit or the vegetable brings when you have it whole. Stop the intake of carbonated drinks. Do not have high fat, high salt, high sugar foods, because they are low in nutrition. Look at incorporating at least 3, if not 4 servings of fruits, vegetables, at least 2 servings of whatever cereal millet allowed as per your religious advisors, like some people would have rajkira, somebody will have even gehu ki roti or kuttu or samai. Use at least, say, two rotis or two boiled cups of those samai rice. Have dal if it is allowed. If not, then look at two big cups of curds or two glasses of milk. If you're allowed to eat meat, poultry, eggs, like in the Lent and the Ramzan fast, do so at least in one meal when you break your fast. Use at least 10 pieces of almonds or half walnuts, or say, peanuts should be roasted. Peanuts should never be had raw because they have a trypsin inhibitor. So advisable to roast or boil the peanuts. Rest all the nuts can be just soaked and had with the skin. Avoid salted and baked nuts, because when you salt them, when you fry them, when you bake them, you're going to reduce on their essential fatty acids and their essential oils which they bring with their good health properties. I would say once again, reduce the intake of ghee, tail, and sugar to less than half to 1 teaspoon, whether you are fasting or not fasting. Fasting needs supervision and guidance, because when you're looking at fasting to help you with health and better cognitive performance, better metabolic health, better cardiac health, better mental health, one must understand the threshold of hormesis. That is the balance between long term fasting and the insufficient calorie intake. One has to understand whether it is making you feel happy, active, alert, very vibrant, or if it gives you a headache or makes you feel like fainting, makes you feel dehydrated, or gives you too many hunger pangs. That's a sign that your fasting is being overdone. Then stop fighting immediately. One should also uh, not fast beyond 5 to 7 days without the advice of a medical practitioner or a good nutritionist, because too much of starvation, too much of calorie restriction can impact your vital organs. Starvation can cause excessive weight loss, even anemia, chronic diarrhea, delirium, and sometimes even untimely death. Whether you are doing intermittent fasting, calorie restricting, alternative fasting, 2 by 7, 16 by 8, whichever method you are choosing, be in touch with a good medical practitioner and a good nutritionist who can help you plan your diets, so that fasting becomes a boon, fasting becomes an aid to better health, it boosts your immunity. Now, one more tip, because I feel that fasting, scientifically done, is a lifestyle approach. When you are fasting, when you're looking at hunger pangs, reduce your exposure to TV and screen time, where there's a lot of ads which talk about unhealthy foods, too many chips, too many samosas, too many sweets or cakes and pastries. So that will make you attracted to unhealthy or unwanted foods. Remember that when you are fasting and you have that sensation of being a little hungry, that is the best thing, because the true mind and body connection is when you fast. That's when you recognize what is fullness, what's when you've eaten enough. Whenever you're eating, also make it three-fourth, not completely full. Take a deep breath, give yourself a break, be mindful of what you're eating. Don't just fall into mindless diets and mindless, stupid weight loss programs. Meditate every day, whether you are when you are fasting, especially, so that you're feeling better. When you're non-fasting, say when you are say fasting 2 days in the week, like eating normally for 5 days, make sure that you eat right, you eat healthy, you have regular exercises. It'll help you to have better health when you are fasting and have better impact. Always remember to use unprocessed cereals, unprocessed millets, good whole legumes which can be sprouted and boiled or steamed, good healthy cooked mutton, fish, eggs, good vegetables, healthy fruits. Make your proteins adequate. At least 30% of your meal should be from proteins. It'll help you curb your appetite in the fast. Remember that fasting may not be right for some people. So if you're diabetic, or if you have got, very frequent low blood sugar levels, then fasting is not meant for you. When if you're an elderly person or an underweight person, adolescent, you should get your fasts planned by a good nutritionist, and you should be supervised by a good medical practitioner. Whenever you feel tired or irritable when you are fasting, stop fasting immediately. Also, when you are fasting, continue with your regular household work, yoga, stretching exercises. Learn to listen to your body. Do not struggle, because when you are in sync with your body, you will know that what you should feed the body. The body, when hungry, just doesn't want calories of chips and colas and juices. It wants good nutrition. It wants wholesome nutrition. So let's create healthy habits, not restrictions. Let's build wellness than just treat disease. And this is my message to all Indians, whether you are in India or in any part of the world. The entire human race can stand to benefit by good food habits, healthy food habits, good food choices, and incorporating fasting at least once or twice in the week. Thank you so much.